Today's topic is how to create your own workout plan. Now, in an ideal world, everyone would have a trainer do it for them. But obviously, it's expensive, one, and we want to help you create a well-rounded, balanced, and safe and effective workout routine. Now, obviously, the way we do it at Strength Matters is we have assessments, we speak to our clients, and we base it around that. But if you are new, if you are a beginner, if you're not sure where to start, then this episode will give you the ins and outs of how to create your own workout plan. And for us, James, after the assessments and when we're building a workout, it all starts with the laws of all workouts. Do you want to tell the listeners what they are?
Yeah, so every single workout we do and we give to people, whether it's in the gym or whether it's running outside, will always follow this pattern because these are the key themes and key areas, the 4 pillars essentially, of what a workout should look like. So the laws of all workouts very much lubricate, which is mobilize the joints. Then we have A for activate, and the muscles that we're going to be using for that workout. W is the workout, whatever the workout is for that day. And S is the stretch at the end. So the laws of all workouts: lubricate, activate, workout, stretch. Very simple, very easy to use and understand, but it's for every workout we do follows those principles. So it's a good structure. It's like the core concepts of how we do every single thing here. Now, what you put in those things, and the ingredients you put into the workout just differs depending on the person and how they come out. But that is essentially the core recipe, I think, is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Gives you a good framework to hang it on, basically.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, you have that. So lubricate is so important. It's mobilize. We never do. Let's take the bookends: lubricate and stretch. So you never want to do static stretching at the start of your workout. It's always dynamic mobility work you do at the start, and the static stretching comes at the end as part of the cool down. Okay, that's where you get the maximum. Well, all the research from what we've seen over the years, that's what it shows is the most effective in terms of injury prevention and performance-wise. And in terms of stretching as well, because stretching-wise, the muscles are warmer. I think at the end of the workout, it's best to put it. But it's also the element where no one ever does. Everyone tries to skip it, but it's so important. You just spend 2 minutes doing one stretch on one area. That's the most important thing you can do at the end of those workouts. But that's how we bookend the middle section and the activation work, which is mostly turning on cores, turning on the glutes, or certain areas where we're working on that day. Particularly if it's deadlifting day, we need to turn on the glutes, right?
Or do a movement that's regress from what you're going to do in the workout. If you are doing a deadlift, do a hinge movement that is, an easier version of the deadlift. So you're activating what you're going to do within the workout. And I just want to say, just to add to what you're saying about the lubricate section, you don't have to foam roll for hours on end. It's not that. It's just a quick roll of the major muscles, the most important ones you're going to be using, just to wake them up. Essentially, that's all it is: warming up and waking up the tissues. And rather than sorry, go on, James. Go, before I introduce the next bit.
It's a great way, if you're working in a bunch of people, it's a great way to shut everybody up. They get all their talking done whilst lying on the foam rollers in a group setting. It's a really good way to do it. But it also feels good. Some people just like it. It just feels good. It makes them feel alive. So
yeah, it does. It does indeed. And in terms of, so that's the lubricate, then we got the activate and the workout. Okay, so how are we going to structure the workout? What are we going to put into it? We say focus on movements rather than muscles. Obviously, if you are going after bodybuilding or anything like that, you do need to get muscle specific, like bicep curls, which will come at the end. But always, especially if you're a beginner, focus on movement rather than muscles. And in our world, we have 7 fundamental human movements. James, do you want to take them through that?
Yeah, sure. So exactly right. So focus on movements, not muscles, and rather than body parts. So when we look at the 7 human movements, we look at locomotion, hinge, squat, push, pull, rotate, and anti-rotate. So what we're trying to do, particularly if it's for beginners, we try and incorporate each of these fundamental human movements into each of the workouts, right? So each of these in a workout, they've got, particularly in the gym, this is more like a gym setting. Let's just cover that now. If it's someone going for a run, it's very different. But if it's in a workout, in a gym setting, we're covering these 7 fundamental human movements. So locomotion, that's our master movement because people don't move enough, right? So that could be a mixture of other things. A very simple one is a simple sled push. That's a locomotion type movement.
Yep.
Hinge, deadlift, trap bar deadlift, squat, it does what it says on the tin. A pushing movement is like, a dumbbell bench press or like a push-up, something like that. Pull-ups, and rotate and anti-rotate. Well, rotate is all about rotation, so like a windmill is a very good way to look at this, the position with a kettlebell. And anti-rotate, a very simple, you're resisting rotation, so it's holding a weight in one hand and resisting rotation on the other side. It could be a variety of things here, but those are just a sample of what you could do with these, but they must come in this sort of like framework we're trying to work with. Now, more advanced people, we can split these movements up into separate days because they've earned the right, they're strong enough and their nervous system can handle a greater load and more frequency and more intensity, so we can spread them out over a couple of days. But for beginners, hit the 7 core movements on that workout as best as you can every single workout you do.
Yep, exactly, and you will have a well-rounded workout. I think maybe, would you say anti-rotate is a movement that's ignored a little bit? Because the old adage, don't try and shoot a cannon from a canoe. Because if you haven't got that core stability, then you're always going to struggle, especially if you want to get stronger and you want to get more powerful, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's such an important piece of the puzzle, I think, when it comes to training. Rotary stability, anti-rotation, all this type of stuff. So yeah, people don't train it enough. They try and do, let's take farmers' carries as a good example. They always want to work on double carries because it evens everything out, right? You can carry more weight. But in reality, sometimes want to get stronger first on the anti-rotation side so your body can resist it. So you have so many forces going through that core area you've got to try and manage. So yeah, anti-rotate, it's a big part, particularly with the cricket players we work with most of the time as well. It's a lot of anti-rotation work, chops and lifts, inline stuff. It's so important. So people tend to neglect it, but that is the secret to power right there.
It is indeed. And as you say, then you add the rotation work, cable rotation work on top of that, and then you've got a really good recipe for a nicely balanced workout from head to toe. James, you just want to do a quick recap. Take us through the laws, take us through the movements, and then we're done, I think.
Yeah, sure. So literally, when we're building a workout for anybody, we look at the laws of all workouts, and that's the framework. It's lubricate the joints, which is mobilization, activate the muscles, we do the workout, and we stretch at the end. Right? That's the basic framework. When it comes to the workout section, when you're working in a gym, we're going to cover all 7 human movements. They are locomotion, hinge, squat, push, pull, rotate, and anti-rotate. Beginners should cover all of those movements as best as possible. Now, as a quick overview, when it comes to the workouts, we try and do supersets as much as we can, like pedaling, like German for beginners, German body comp type stuff, basically. That's where we're looking at, is pairing these supersets. Sets rate, rep ranges 8 to 10, basically, or 8 to 12 in some cases. That's what we try and do as best as we possibly can. So that's how we put it together. Start with the power stuff first, and then go down to the more auxiliary exercises towards the very end, and then finish off with a good old stretch. Spend 2 minutes at least. If you haven't got much time, spend at least 2 minutes on one area, like a hip flexor stretch or something in one area. 2 minutes for each part of the body. There we go. That's our framework for workouts.
Yeah, and focus on compound movements first, of course, as you say. Like any power, any agility, stuff like that. That's all got to come first before you do anything else. That is it for today. I've lost my outro. There we go. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you want to find out more about our system of training, go to strengthmatters.com/system.